earlier by the ruling Nepal Communist Party to finalize the deal on the much-awaited party integration process by 22nd of April, as the day also happens to be the party establishment day. However, with every passing day as the deadline nears, the integration process seems all the more complicated and challenging. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the top stories of the hour. Final integration process of the ruling Nepal Communist Party still in limbo. Chairman Duo Oli and Dahal under intense pressure to fulfill demands of the party's ranks and files. Government secretary is compelled to undergo frequent transfers due to clash of interests. A single secretary posted in 4 different authorities in 14 months. Plight of foreign employment victims worsens due to government's negligence. Victims compelled to spend more than their compensation amount. And Royal Challengers Bangalore stun Kolkata Knight Riders in the Indian Premier League. KKR falls short in thrilling run chase. We'll start with the latest national political updates. The ruling Nepal Communist Party is undergoing groundworks to conclude the intra-party integration by 22nd of April on the party's establishment day. The unification process has been stranded for the past 11 months since the party assumed the government leadership. However, doubts are still rife over the conclusion of the unification due to the persisting disputes among the leaders of the erstwhile CPN-UML. The panels of Chairman KP Sharma Oli and Senior Leader Madhav Kumar Nepal are still at loggerheads over the leadership of 45 districts proposed for the former UML faction. The Nepal faction has even warned of forming a parallel committee if Chairman Oli tries to exhibit single-handedness in this regard, leading to further complexity in the integration process. Meanwhile, the former Maoist Center faction has been laying all the blame to the erstwhile UML faction for delay in the party integration process. The leaders associated with Senior Leader Nepal, however, have alleged Chairman Oli and his affiliates of attempting to ensure single-handed leadership within the party organizations. The Nepal panel has also insisted on providing leadership to the office bearers elected earlier. The integration of the ruling Nepal Communist Party at provincial, district and local levels, along with party's central and organizational departments, is still pending. Chairman Duo KP Sharma Oli and Pushpa Kamal Dahal are currently in pressure to conclude the unification at the earliest. Analysts are of the view that the dispute regarding the party unification is likely to prolong as the leadership itself is not clear on its modality and mechanism. Now, despite repeated claims of a stable government, the Oli-led government has made the public service quite unstable with the regular transfer of secretaries in the past 1 year. The government, which is alleged of working on political bias, has transferred a single secretary up to 4 times in a single year since assuming office. The government recently transferred Health Secretary Chandra Kumar Ghimire to Women Ministry. This was Ghimire's 3rd transfer since the formation of the Oli-led government. Likewise, the differences between Minister for Drinking Water Beena Magar and Secretary Gajendra Thakur became public in terms of financial irregularities surrounding the much-touted Melonchi project. In the wake of the ongoing dispute, Secretary Thakur was transferred to the Office of Nepal Trust, making it his 4th transfer of the year. After Minister Magar assumed her office at the Ministry of Drinking Water, Secretary at the Prime Minister's office, Krishna Raj BC, was transferred to her ministry. Secretary BC is currently stationed at the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology Ministry. Meanwhile, Dipendra Nath Sharma is the present secretary at the Ministry of Drinking Water. In the past 14 months, secretaries at the Drinking Water Ministry has been changed 4 times. Barring a few exceptions, the majority of the secretaries have been transferred 4 times. There has been a past trend of transferring secretaries every time dispute arises with the departmental minister in terms of political vendetta or commission games. However, the Prime Minister's office itself is showing significant interest in all these transfers for a change this time around. The government, in the meantime, has ignored the consequences of such haphazard transfers, which can have a negative bearing on budget implementation. The plight of foreign employment victims has worsened due to the irresponsibility and sluggishness of government mechanism. The victims are compelled to struggle for their compensation for being deceived by employers to the extent that they often end up spending more than the amount of compensation itself. As many as 900 individuals have filed for compensation in the last 8 months, citing that they were deceived by manpower agencies in the pretext of foreign employment. The Department of Foreign Employment has, however, attended to only 300 of the victims' complaints as of yet. A victim needs to wait for at least 1.5 months to get their compensation. It takes as many as 42 days to get through the legal procedure to fetch money from the deposits made by manpower companies. In addition to that, the department has often been delaying relief to the victims, citing shortage of staff. Along with the persistent sluggishness in addressing the victims' complaints, the government has also failed to come up with any concrete steps to curb the cheating of manpower agencies. During the period of Maoist insurgency, 969 had lost their lives, whereas 33 are still missing in Rolpa district alone. The family members of those deceased have been expressing the difficulty and hardship of life. In this context, we had asked the family members of the victims what are the other difficulties they have been facing. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
बुहारीसित बस्छु अब सुख भए पनि दुःख भए पनि अब बुहारीले पालेको छ मलाई अरु त अब खै के भन्ने सुख दुःख त अब खै मान्छेलाई कहिले पुग्छ
छात्रवृत्तिका कुराहरू छ त्यो पनि 18 वर्षसम्मकालाई मात्रै भन्ने खालको थियो त्यो एकदमै गलत हो किनभने द्वन्द्वपीडित बालबालिकाहरू चाहिँ जतिसम्म पढ्न सक्छन् त्यतिसम्म चाहिँ निशुल्क शिक्षा दिनु पर्थ्यो
घर चुन्छ सानो छ घर टिनको समस्या अनि पैसाका समस्या अब बुढाबुढी भए म आँखा देख्दैन
व्यवहार यता त सम्हाल्नै नसकिने मान्छे बुढाबुढी भए पनि त्यही कहिले खाना समस्या पनि दुःख पर्छ कहिले कामको समस्या पनि पर्छ घरमा बुढाबुढी मात्र छ
And time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, why has the government been transferring the secretaries at regular interval? Your options are A, political vendetta, B, lack of clear policies, and C, to fine-tune management. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
The ICC Under-16 Eastern Regional Cricket Tournament kicks off in Thailand today as defending champions Nepal take on Myanmar at Chiang Mai in the first match. Nepal had won the title by defeating Singapore by 71 runs back in 2017. Nepal and Myanmar were put in the same group in the last tournament as well, where Nepal had produced a huge win of 337 runs over Myanmar. Nepal is in Group A along with Myanmar, home team Thailand and Malaysia. Singapore, Hong Kong, China and Bhutan are in Group B. The match between Nepal and Myanmar begins in just a short while away from now. And it's now time for our special segment, Media Watch. Nepalese welcomed New Year 2076 Bikram Samad last Sunday with much fervour and fanfare. Most of the religious and recreational public spaces saw a large throng of people to celebrate the day. Many were out in the streets to welcome the New Year as the clock struck midnight. Meanwhile, on the occasion of the New Year, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli extended his best wishes to the Nepalese people from his official residence at Baluatar. During his 20-minute New Year's Day address, Premier Oli vowed to eliminate corruption from all levels and that his government was committed to achieve the goals of sustainable development by 2030.
यसरी गएको वर्ष चुनौतीलाई चिर्दै आशा र उत्साहका साथ हामीबाट बिदा भएको छ। गएको वर्षले हाम्रो आत्मविश्वास थप सुदृढ बनाएको छ। राष्ट्रिय आकांक्षा र सम्पन्न गर्नुपर्ने असंख्य कार्यसूची सहित नयाँ वर्ष 2076 ले हामीलाई स्वागत गरिरहेको छ।
On a more sour note, the Nepalese New Year started with a tragic crash at the Lukla airport. 3 people were killed and 3 others injured when Summit Air's airplane crashed with a helicopter of Manang Air parked at the Lukla Airport in Solukhumbu early morning on New Year's Day. While the government has yet to deliver justice by identifying and taking actions against the perpetrators behind the heinous rape and murder of girl child Nirmala Pant, another woman identified as Swastika Limbu of Bhrikuti Nagar, Nepalganj was found dead in mysterious circumstances. Swastika was found hanged to her room's ceiling 6 months after eloping and marrying Ayush Buddha Chetri. Locals in Nepalganj staged a protest claiming it was a cold-blooded murder. The police have also suspected foul play as Swastika's body had bruises. Towards national politics, 5 justices recommended by the Supreme Court were approved by the Parliamentary Hearing Committee despite facing charges for financial irregularities and inadequate credentials. The committee's decision once again raised speculations if the hearings were just a formality. Dinesh Kumar Thapulia was also approved for the post of Chief Commissioner at the Election Commission this week. On a brighter note, Nepal has entered into the global space age by successfully launching its first satellite, Nepal Sat-1, on Wednesday. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KTV HD. Have a great day ahead.